I got my nails done today and they are so cute. It's like a pale yellow, pale neon. They look kind of green. I don't know why, but they're yellow. They're cute. I got the best nail lady ever. She does a great job. SNS, these my real nails. Let's talk. So this video is gonna be about communication and where I struggle, okay? Because it's like, nobody likes confrontation, okay? Nobody wants to say the hard words. Nobody wants to do it. So when you have to actually do it, it's tough. It's really tough. So basically, I'm gonna just start off by saying that I was having this conversation with one of my best friends, Lorenzo. We be talking about crazy stuff. All of my best friends, we be having like the best conversations. And lately, it's like a chain of events. Like I was talking to one of my other best friends, Nyla. She's in some of my videos, but she was we were having this whole conversation about spirituality and religion, and it was like a whole bunch of stuff, which sparked me making another video. And then the last conversation that I had with Lorenzo, we were basically talking about communication and how women communicate, how men communicate, and it was just like the best conversation ever. Like, I don't know. So I'm just like, okay, is this a running thing? Like my next best friend, not my next best friend, but like my other best friends, I'm gonna have like these crazy, like deep conversations, like where I feel like I'm learning from them, or like, I don't know. It was really weird. I have great conversations with them all the time, but like the feeling after I have these particular ones is just like relief. Like I was supposed to talk about that, or we were supposed to be in that moment and have that conversation. So I'm making a video basically about communication, because that's what we were talking about. My views, how I react, how I go about things. And if you want to listen, you know, just keep on watching. If not, just go ahead, get out of this if you don't want to talk about this, or if you don't want to listen about this. So basically, when I am comfortable with people, say my best friends, or like certain people from work, you know, something like that, it's easy for me to tell them things, right? Because you have that relationship, you have that rapport. But if it's somebody that you're trying to get to know, or like somebody that is not quite your friend yet, and you're still trying to ease them out, saying things to them which are not always comfortable can be very hard, right? So for example, at work, we have to make sure that our patients are safe. We have to make sure our consents are signed, history and physicals are updated, stuff like that. Some doctors sometimes forget about that. They got a billion things that they gotta do, so they might forget to get somebody to witness their consent or stuff like that. So we're the ones that has to look at that, right? It's gonna be on us if that's not done when the patient goes back into the room. Correct. Having to go up to the doctors or having to tell them that they didn't do something is actually kind of hard. Some of them are not approachable, and whereas others, they are. So I could go up to Dr. Johnson and he go off on me because I'm delaying his time trying to get this history and physical update. And then I could go to Dr. James and I can tell him that his stuff is not done, and he'll take it. He's like, oh yeah, I forgot. Oh, my bad. So I feel like I have that problem, like me trying to go up to people and saying what the issue is or what's going on, or like I don't like confrontation. I don't like confrontation at all. So saying these hard things, or like trying to bring up these touchy situations, touchy topics, is a little bit more challenging for me. Now at work, it's a little bit different because I gotta do it. Like I'm getting paid to do that. People's lives are in my hands. So, and these are policies that I have to follow, and I can see it, you know, translating into my real life. But in other ways, it's not. Like I am lacking in the communication area. And I keep touching my little pigtails because they keep flopping up like Wendy. Like I'm not trying to look like Wendy. I'm trying to look like this. Okay, anyway, so that's like my little work scenario. So I'm trying to bring that into real life, okay? To real life, not work life. So in our conversation, we were saying how girls and guys communicate differently. You know, some people be like, oh, girls are based on emotions and guys are not. They're based on like reality, something like that. And I was just like, okay, yeah. So with me, if I have a problem with somebody, I'm gonna talk to my friends about it first, okay? And I'm gonna get their opinions and how I should go about it. I'm probably not gonna listen to them. I'm probably gonna go about it a completely different way. But I do love their input. You know, I can listen to them and I'll be like, okay, so such and such did this, and how should I like address it, or how should I go about things now? and they'll tell me, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. And I'll be like, okay, so when I see them tomorrow, I'm gonna go ask them these questions. Or when I see them tomorrow, I'm gonna say this. Or when I see them tomorrow, I'm gonna do this. And I see them and I don't do it at all. And then I find myself having excuses as to why I didn't do it. I'm like, oh, well, we decided that everything's gonna be good. This gonna happen. This gonna happen. But really, I should have just went about communicating the way that I said I was gonna communicate, right? It's hard. It really is very, very hard. I don't know what to do to change it. Like, I like addressing my feelings, and I'm very blunt sometimes. Like, I'm really very blunt. Like, some of my friends really think that I'm blunt, but I think that I'm blunt once I get to know somebody. Like, I'm not gonna have the same conversations with Lorenzo, Nyla, Jalen, Troy, all of them with somebody else like that I just met, or I met like a couple of months ago, a couple of weeks ago, because it's different. It's completely different. Actually trying to get to that point of communicating with certain people like that, or like on that level as to where I'm comfortable enough to say how I feel all the time. I feel like sometimes it should be easy, but sometimes it's not. 1, based on their personalities. 2, based on the situation. 3, based on how I'm feeling at the time. Like, it's a lot that plays into it. But it's like I talk to people, or I talk to my friends about these situations. We develop a plan, and that plan just never falls through. So I'm just saying, I'm pointing it out right now that I gotta do better. I gotta do better with communicating, especially how I'm feeling, because like I'll say, oh, I'm fine, and I really don't be fine, because I don't want that confrontation. And yeah, girls do that all the time. I'm a woman. It is what it is. But okay, so me and him were having a conversation, and I was like, you know, sometimes women will be like, okay, we'll talk about a situation and everything will be good, right? We'll listen to what you're saying and it will make sense at the time. And then a couple of hours, maybe a couple of days will go by, and we'll think about it and we'll be like, nah, something not right. Like, that don't make sense. So we bring it up again. And when we bring it up again, guys just assume that we are nagging, that we are like trying to start an argument. But no, like, we're trying to get clarity when it comes to me. I'm trying to figure out what the hell what you was talking about, clear it up. And yeah, if I mention it again, then that means it might still be a problem, but usually it's me trying to figure out, or like really clarify the whole situation so there won't be any more questions, right? So I want to hear what you're saying again, because sometimes I might not remember. I want to hear what you're saying, and I want you to just like reiterate it, make it sound a little bit better, because how it sounded before, yeah, at the moment, in that moment, it sounded good, but after a while, like you just start thinking about it, you're just like, maybe I don't really understand, like maybe something just doesn't really make sense to me. I need to clarify. So when men like say that we're nagging or we're bringing something up in order to start another like confrontation or another argument, I don't think that's 100% correct, especially when it comes to me. Like, I'm just trying to figure out what the hell you think, like, because something ain't making sense in my brain at that time. That's just that. Not bringing it up just to nag, or bringing it up because I don't get it. I don't understand. So if I bring something up, it's literally just to be brought up. Like, it's not to be confrontational, because I don't like to be confrontational. I do not argue. I will sit there and okay you in a heartbeat. I will say how I feel, and if you don't understand, I will okay you in a heartbeat. But if there's a problem, I'm going to address it. That's what I'm trying to get to. I'm going to try to address it as best as possible. And like I said before, I also think that you have to know who you're talking to. So if you don't know how a person addresses a situation, or likes a situation to be addressed, if you have a problem with them, that's where you ask them. That's where you ask them, guys. And I have to ask, yeah, I really do have to continue to ask. But if there's something wrong, you need to ask person, hey, I don't know how you are, you know, if somebody comes up to you, how do you want them to come up to you with a problem or something like that? Like, if somebody doesn't feel comfortable, how do you want them to come up to you? Like, do you want them to call you? Do you want them to text you? Do you want them to face to face? Do you want them to call you while you on the toilet? Like, what do you want to do? Like, what's your most comfortable way for somebody to express themselves to you? Right? I think that's a very, very, very important conversation to have with anyone, like your coworkers, somebody that you're working really closely with, because y'all be having problems with like your relationships, stuff like that, with your friendships. You need to know how people react to confrontation, number one, and how people like to be approached. It's a little bit harder to do when you're forming a relationship, honestly, but just asking the question, I think, would be a lot easier on your relationship. It'll make it flow a little bit better, you know, make it flow a little bit better. So basically, you know, I think what I have to work on is Number one, getting the problem out when there is a problem. Number two, finding out how to address problems with certain people. And also, like, really just not being afraid to ask certain questions and to be vulnerable with certain people. And it's just weird. Like, communicating is like weird. It sounds super easy, but when you're dealing with certain people, you can be a little bit more reserved. Or if you're dealing with other people, you can be a little bit more outgoing and you can just ask whatever you want to ask. But my personality, it really just depends on the person. Like, I know some people who don't care. They'll ask questions they want to ask. They'll be loud about it. They'll do whatever they gotta do. They'll speak their mind in a heartbeat. But I'm a little bit more reserved. So it's a little bit tougher for me to say what I gotta say. And I really gotta learn the person and be comfortable with the person to say what I gotta say. So I'm trying to work on that. I'm trying to find the balance, a good balance in between, like, that extroverted person who say whatever they gotta say, say what's on their mind at that moment, and then the reserved person that takes a little while to say what they gotta say. I wanna know what areas of communication you have problems in, because I feel like I only touched like a little bitty part of what communicating is. Like, there's probably gonna be like another video about this because I only touched the surface. I really didn't say too much. But yeah, if you like this video, make sure you comment, subscribe, and like, right? If not, that's fine too. I will be back in another video very, very soon. I'm becoming a little bit more frequent with these things because I was slacking before, but now I'm back and I'm better. All right, so I'll see y'all in the next one.